Okay, here's a little bit more about discussion boards. Like I said, I get bored easily, maybe. But we're going to call this grandma's discussion board, the way we've done it for so long. And but we want we want to do things a little differently. We want students to be engaged in their conversations. And don't we imagine that wherever they are, they're looking to see if anybody has replied to their posts. But they're all replying to the same posts. In PackBack, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about PackBack, but in PackBack, the students come up with their own questions, and therefore they're encouraged to come up with a question that that will encourage responses. So the question I have for you today is, can I do the same thing in a traditional discussion board? Yes, you can. Sometimes instructors think that they can't make any changes, but as long as you stay with the same objectives and same number of points, you can change the prompts in a discussion board. So I encourage students to come up with a question, something like social media that will trigger responses, that will encourage debate. And students can open that up and then reply to whatever question they want. One nice thing I realized just yesterday was that if you have a discussion board where students can't see another student's posts until they make their post, they might be hesitant because they're a little afraid they're going to do the wrong thing or whatever. But if everybody's posting different questions, they can look at other students' questions first, and they might feel better about making their own posts. Plus, it encourages that learner engagement when they can come up with their own assignments that way. I suggest checking in often, no matter what kind of format you use. If you go to your assignment, if you go to your discussion and click on the unread button, you could see just the ones that you haven't read yet. You could also use the like button to let them know you've been there. My discussion boards, I open them the weekend before and close them on the due date because I know students like to work on weekends, and I want them to have a heads up and get started for those who like to be early. I put a reminder like this here in the course calendar to let them know that their initial post is due. And then I use this kind of a formatted rubric, and that makes it pretty fast. If you got 30 students in a class, that's really fast to do it that way. Then make a comment using their name. So I always try to make some kind of a comment on whatever it was that they've said, a comment on one of their posts. Then I also add what I call added value. I've been in retail too long. So all this here, an online footprint is inevitable. All that is copy and paste for every student, and it adds a little bit more of a teaching moment for them. So what's your role? The question is, can you do this in a traditional discussion board? Yes, you can. But studies show that students are a little hesitant to be involved if an instructor is always saying something. You don't need to reply to every post. Definitely you want to stay involved in the discussion at the beginning, especially that first couple of discussions, first few weeks of class. But you don't have to necessarily always be making comments on their posts, because that might be what causes them to hold back. You can, however, post questions that trigger more thought, or you could just post a cartoon or a meme and ask them to comment on that or something. And then at the end, after each discussion, post some kind of a follow-up announcement or a summary of some kind. And there, see, feel better already, huh?